your AI tools and bots and all the robots doing the things, they can't do a lot if you don't give them arms and legs, eyes and ears. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You can give them eyes, ears, hands to do things. And we're going to talk about it. On top of that, you can give them additional tools like hammers and drills, and they can start doing things and building things and solutionizing for you. They do need some guidance though. It's kind of funny. Uh, if you don't give them enough guidance or the right kind of guidance, they can drive a car off a cliff pretty quickly. But outside of that, they are capable of doing these things. The tools that have enabled us to do this come in a variety of different shapes and sizes, but the main system that I want to talk to you about was created by Anthropic, and it's called MCPs, or the Model Context Protocol. Now, you might think, oh man, that sounds complicated. And in theory, from a developer perspective, it makes a lot of sense. In practice, from someone who may not know how to code or may not understand how it all works, I'm going to do a very high level explanation of kind of the idea. You've all gone to a website before, I'm sure, and typed in http colon slash slash. Some of us have. Some of us live in an age where you just type words and it works. But that HTTP was something that has a definition, and I've pulled it up on Google right here, and it is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is a contractual agreement across to everyone working on the internet on how browsers communicate with other servers and how servers communicate with other servers and how browsers and servers all talk, and you get to see websites and use them. It's also how the data in your apps and your video games are usually transferred from one area to another. There are other protocols that you can use, but for the most part, HTTP is kind of a common standard and kind of heavily used. Oftentimes, you'll see it with an S at the end, HTTPS, meaning that it's secure. And it has a certificate certifying how secure it is. Anywho, we won't get into that part too much, but let's talk about MCP. So, MCP is the Model Context Protocol, and it's an open standard that any AI developer could use to power AI with tools to give them the ability to do things. And the way I like to think about this is you're giving them arms, you're giving them hands, you're giving them eyes, ears, you're allowing them to have senses, to be mobile, to do things. So, that being said, let's talk a little bit more about how they work and what the flow is as you as a user. After we've done that, we'll dive into actually setting up some in cursor, and we'll just kind of go from there. So here is a diagram. Up here we have the user. Zoom in a little bit. Up here's a diagram. We have the user. They are making a request via a prompt to the AI. The AI looks at this prompt and then goes, what do I want to do? I've got these tools based on the prompt. Do they want to do a web search? Do they want to edit some files? Do they want to browse control? Maybe they want to create a chart. That then comes to these tools, the tool results. So they hands off the work to the tool. The tool does it, returns the results. What the tool did is provided. If we follow this line, it gives feedback back to the AI. The AI looks at the results from the tool, creates a response, and the response is delivered back to the user. And that can happen in a myriad of different flows. As the world evolves and as we use more AI, we're gonna see a lot more of these being injected just into the tools that you use every day. Imagine opening up an app that uh, is like a food app, and based on your location and your I don't know, some biometric data it might have and foods that you've eaten in the past, it creates a prompt in the background. The AI model goes, oh, find food, and sends you two locations to choose from. You choose one of those locations, and then that goes through a whole system to get you directions to that location. And it might be contextually aware that you're on foot, so it gives you the best walking directions, but might have a little ad in there. I don't know, from like Bird or Lyft for their scooters so that you can grab a scooter and get there quicker. It might have, if it contextually knows that you like to use Lyft or Waymo or whatever, it might have a little ad in there for you to click on and schedule that ride for you. So eventually we're going to get these systems where you're just kind of interacting with AI and it goes and does all of the manual steps to get stuff done. And what's beautiful about a lot of the things that we're doing is the AI is learning how to use the systems we've built, or rather, developers are programming it to be able to use the systems we've built. So we don't have to reinvent the world for AI. AI is just going to learn to use our world. So, how do you find MCP servers? What options do you have? There's a lot of different places you can look in Google, and there's a lot of Google, you can search for them. There's a lot of different solutions. I specifically, if you're using Cursor, would recommend the Cursor directory because people have used these with Cursor and found them to work. It is open source, so people can apply their own suggestions and build their own and share them with the community. So you can see in here, there's like um, a Figma one, there's a GitHub one that allows you to do allows the AI bot to do GitHub actions for you and stuff. Not GitHub actions, but like actions on GitHub. That's confusing. There's one for Supabase. I love the Supabase one. Essentially, I don't have to be a like database engineer. The AI can take care of all the database engineering for me, making tables, making columns, making adjustments based on the front end definitions that I'm building on my app. It's kind of cool. Resend is really cool. You can be sitting there working, and then you can be like, "Hey, can you put together an email real quick and send it to Jeffrey?" And it'll be like, "You email, send to Jeffrey," and off it goes. Right? So uh, you don't have to leave your cursor space to go do things. So as a developer, they can kind of be like a fun like hack for someone who's like working all day in Cursor. That's fun. If you're not in Cursor all day, you might just open up your email tool and write up the email. But if I do that, I'm using Super Whisper to like talk through my email and get it sent that way. So we're gonna go to my own agents that I've built. They're on GitHub. Um, they're the Brian Builds agents, and they are there are 3 in here. If you come to packages, you'll see a browser driver, a draw agent, and a hello agent. The browser driver, that's still being worked on. We'll get there. It's going to be cool when I'm done, though. It's going to be one of the best browser agents out there. Then we've got the draw agent and the hello agent. We're going to implement the hello agent just to kind of show you real quickly how it works. And then we'll implement the draw agent and talk through that one a little bit. So if you come into the hello agent here, you'll find that the README is defaulted and it will do its best. All of this was written by AI and created by AI. And so it did its best to explain how to get this set up in Cursor. We can open up Cursor, and with Cursor opened, I'm just gonna open up any project. Specifically, right now, I could open up the agents project, but I did a Pokemon Pokedex a little while ago for one of my videos. We're going to open up that one. And then it said click the gear icon. And we'll just close this for a moment. Then we go to MCPs. I don't have any MCPs set up at the moment. So then I click this button and it opens up this. So then it says give it a name. All right, so I'm going to copy this name. We'll paste it in here. It says use the command option right here. And then it says put this command in there. So I'm going to put that command in there and we will add it. So right now it's loading and now it is loaded and it says, hey, the tools are say hello. So that is the tool. Then it says to test the tool, you can say at hello agent, say hello. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to just start a new chat and and we'll see how it handles this. We'll just hit enter. So it said, oh, you want to run the tool. Well, let's run the tool. And the tool just outputs hello world. That's what the tool does. It returns this markdown for the bot to output it. and that's what it does. Let's set up the draw one, shall we? So the draw one, we come in here to its README, and it will walk us through the same steps. And we might even be lucky and have a picture. Nope, the picture didn't make it. Dang, I'll have to fix that later. The AI failed to get the picture in there. That's okay. So draw agent, it's going to be a new one that we're going to make. So I'm just going to close all these things so we can go through this process again. You click the gear icon. You're going to come down to MCP and you're going to do add another server. We're going to call this one the draw agent. We're using the command flow, and we're going to put in here this command, which is the same command that we've been doing. In order for this to work, you will need Node. Just as a highlight, for all of these to work, you need Node on your computer. So npx is a command that Node, the Node environment ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, uses. The -yes just means say yes to everything, and then run this guy. So we're adding it. They're all initializing, and this one says we've got a define chart and a draw chart. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. We're going to open up the chat. I'm going to just continue here in this same chat here and say, make me a simple pie chart. And so it's currently defining the chart, and now it's going to try and draw the chart. And it ran into an issue. So it's going to try again. It's not perfect. We'll get there. And then it gave me this little link I can click, and there's our simple pie chart. All right. Now, what if we wanted to be a little bit more complex with this? Draw me a pie chart that has 40% food, 30% fun, 20%, I don't know, what would it be? 20% gas and 10% taxes. I don't know. I just made up some like random numbers for it to make. And let's see if it's able to take this info and make a slightly more detailed chart. So it went through the define process, then in the draw process, and now we have this monthly budget breakdown. It just guessed. And so it's like food, fun, gas, taxes. Cool. What about this? Let's do a mind map. I want to do a mind map where Brian is the central part. That's me. I want 3 nodes coming off of that. One is family, one is work, and one is fun. Off of the family node, I want a wife node, and then I want 4 children nodes. On the work node, I want programming, AI, and management. And on the management node, I want 5 team nodes. And then on the fun node, I want Pokemon and lizards and AI. And then we'll just leave it at that. Let's just do that mind map, please. And as it's building this out, you're probably wondering, when he showed us that chart at the beginning of how MCP works, did he use this tool to build that chart? Yes, I did. I just talked at it and it made the chart for me. Let's see what this mind map looks like. Okay, so this looks more like a tree chart. Let's talk through that. This looks more like a flow chart or an org chart. I want it to look more like a mind map, where it's like more circular and less like vertical flow. It's really struggling here. So if we open each of these guys up, what's kind of interesting is you can see what's going on. And it finally output one for us. So let's see what we got. Oh gosh, that made an SVG. Can I copy this? Go to Chrome. Ugh, that's gross. Let's do this. Watch this. We're going to go to Mermaid Docs because that is the framework that it's using. And we can go to maybe tutorials. We can see if we can find mind maps in here. And watch this. We can just take this and say, can you do it kind of more in this format? This is a mind map format based on the documentation. So that might take a little bit more work to get it sorted out, but it didn't quite work the way we wanted. We've got to iterate on this and make it better. But ultimately, hopefully it's able to send the mind map structure. Let's see what we got here. There we go. So look, there's a fun mind map right there. So we've got Brian, we've got fun AI lizards Pokemon, we got family, we got wife, 4 children, we got work, we got programming, AI. Within work, I've got management, and I've got 5 teams that I help coordinate with. So boom, just like that. Crazy, huh? Now, we did open up this Pokemon app, right? It's a very simple app. And so what I want to do is do something that's kind of useful in my career is I have to diagram and chart out and create flows of how applications work so people can understand how it works without having to get into all of the code. And it's helpful for people who are not technical minded as well. So I'm just doing a new chart here. I'm gonna close this. I'm going to say, can you take a few minutes and review this HTML, JavaScript, and style sheet and the README and get an understanding of this application, and then build me a chart that shows how the application works from the user doing input data to making API requests to get info, the user doing searches and filters to see the results, and the user maybe clicking on the results to see more. I don't know exactly how it all works, but can you review the code and create a user flow diagram so that I can share that with other people so they understand how this application works from a user flow perspective? Since we're having issues, kind of issues. Didn't look like we had an issue. I had to figure out how to make it get this output every time. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. Here we go. The user opens the app. There's a loading screen. We display a Pokemon grid. The user can browse and click and view details of Pokemon. Otherwise, they can search and they get search results. There can be no results in the search results, or there can be multiple results, and then they can move on to view details of those results. So that's not too bad. And I didn't have to do any work to make this diagram. Now, is there more additional iterations that I could do to get this diagram to maybe be horizontal or to be a different size or aspect ratio? Sure. I can iterate with it. I can talk with it. You can even take a picture of this and have it iterate on it, like I was saying. So I don't like that it's vertical, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just take a screenshot real quick, and I'm going to drop the screenshot in here so it can see what the result was. I can say, hey, it actually did work. This ended up being vertical though. Can you try again and make it horizontal for me? And the draw tool was successful. It didn't provide me a link, so I got to come in here and find it. Let's open up another one right here. Boop. And now it's horizontal. Ta-da! Yay! So pretty crazy, right? We gave it the ability to draw for us. We gave it some hands and it's drawing for us. That is pretty cool. Gave it hands and a pencil, I guess. I don't know. Now it's drawn all over the place. Well, I'm excited about this. I'm excited to keep iterating. It's these types of tools in the AI space that I think are actually going to be big game changers for us, not just being able to chat with it to ask, hey, can you make me a recipe for cookies? No. Hey, can you go make the cookies? Right? That's what we want. Or hey, can you go order the cookies from Walmart and have them delivered to my front door? Yeah. Duh. That would be more helpful. Like, we want to get to the point where these types of tools are taking the time to do things that we don't necessarily need to be doing, so we can use our brains to focus on more cognitive heavy things. Feel free to explore other MCPs and hop into the chat here on the video and comment on some of your favorite MCPs that you've used and ones that you've found. There are a lot out there. Cursor Directory is not the only place to find them. And who knows, maybe you build your own and you want to share that with people watching the video. Feel free to drop those in the comments so people can discover. And, buckle up, have some fun, and we'll see you in the future. Bye.